Group and Nemetschek India, especially for putting up this event. It has been a very enlightening evening. I must congratulate everyone who has presented, and I really did not expect, this kind of technical information, but it was presented so well. It was so engaging that there is too much to take away from what has happened today. I'm very nervous, to be very honest. There are a couple of reasons. One, this is first time I am moderating a panel with more than three people, and initially the idea was to have six people, but now we have five people. The second is I don't know how, but in last 1.5 years, whatever panels I have moderated or I have been a part of, all these panels, irrespective of the theme, whether gender parity in architecture, technology in architecture, young architects in profession, all these panels have been positioned in such a way that cocktail and dinners would generally appear immediately after that. But today I think there has been some shift, and Rajiv Mishra, Professor Mishra, would be presenting after me. So thank you so much, Professor Mishra, for that. What used to happen was whenever we were doing all these panel discussions or I was moderating, because it was towards the end, most of the hands would be ready for clapping midway in the presentation, and most of the eyes would be fixated on the exit door looking for the next event. And since morning, I must say that I have been hearing about rooftop experience, and we are definitely going to have that very quickly. And I was wondering, so many times it has been repeated over here, why didn't we have this panel discussion right over there? But anyway, I'll not take much time. I have some 45-50 minutes for my presentation, and I assure you that I am going to keep it very, very light, very engaging, and I'm very sure with all this experience that I have on the stage today, the youngest panelist we have, I may not say youngest panelist, but the panelist with the youngest architecture practice is Khushbu Davda. And then we also have Canon Design, which brings hundreds years of experience globally and some 15-16 years in India. Then we have 60 years of experience from IMK architects and uh, architect Hardik's practice, I think, recently completed 25 years. So a big hand for all these panelists. And Tejaswini's practice is about 25 years. 25 years again. So this much of experience we have over here. I heard about Archicad somewhere around 2000 2001 from a friend in Mumbai for whom I was providing some technology services and helping them with setting up some new computers and software in the office. Even before BIM came into picture, I would like to talk about this, even if it is not the fact or true. There was a word which was introduced to me. It was virtual building. People from Nemetschek and Graphisoft may correct me if I am wrong. Virtual building was very fascinating term because the way it was explained to me was architects are not supposed to produce drawings. Drawings are byproducts of a design process. That is how it was explained to me. Architects should put their time into thinking, creativity, designing and producing architecture. Drawings happen as a part of process automatically. But what the CAD software were doing was completely reverse. We were focusing more on the drawings, and then 3D and all these things would come later. So this started changing, and this was the first mindset shift I would say happened with Archicad. I would like to start with Elvin Toffler's quote over here, which he shared in a book called Future Shock, which I am rereading recently and I'm also carrying with me. This quote is very, very interesting. It says, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be the people who do not know how to read and write, but it will be the people who do not know how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Now, there have been so many major shifts in technology in last, I would say at least 2 decades, 20 years, from drawing boards to CAD to BIM, 3D visualization software, then we have AI, parametric software. I am very curious. How do these architecture practices very quickly adapt to this shift in the mindset, and what do they do in their practice to really keep up pace with this changing technology? To start with, uh, I would like to put this question to uh, Mr. Nitin. What do you do in your office when you really see this shift happening in technology?
To be frank, first of all, as you said, uh, that if the architect should spend time in thinking. So I completely believe that. And what your question regarding when it comes to new technologies, you have to adapt. The bottom line is you have to adapt. If you don't adapt, others will. So the first thing, uh, in our office, what we practice is slightly different. We don't have different teams. Like there's a 3D visualization team, there's a BIM team, or there is a quantity generating team or thing. We believe that the architects who are working on the project should be able to work right from conceptualization to the detailing and to the execution. They will only go to the site and they will only do it at the same time. They know what they had quantified and they know what they had worked on the concept. So we believe in that, and we use Vectorworks for the precise reason that it gives us concepts, it gives us rendering, it gives us 3D, it gives us quantification. So
Yeah.
that's the idea.
I'm also going to come to AI. Sorry for interrupting, and my job is to interrupt and tell people that
You're talking too
people
much.
are waiting for rooftop experience more than anything else. So, yeah, I'm also going to come to AI in your office. You did mention Vectorworks. Uh, their firm, IMK, possibly is the only firm which know that they use Vectorworks. Earlier, it was architect B.V. Doshi's office in Ahmedabad, which was using Vectorworks. Architect Tejaswini, how do you adapt to such changes?
Yeah. So, like being in this field since last 25 years, of course, we started with AutoCAD, which is, where we all started off from. And things have changed so rapidly over these last few years. And of course, like there are iterations, people coming in and going out. So the new entries are actually people who are into these softwares and working into these 3D modes already. So maybe if you ask me, I am an AutoCAD person. I mean, I
Oh,
have.
still.
But of course we need to adapt. So the people who are coming in are also bringing in these technologies with us, and the office obviously has to step up to that, because even clients are smarter now. Clients are also coming up with, like, they are aware of all these forums also make them aware that these things are available, and you should expect your architect to show you all this in these formats which are much more easy to understand and easy to view. Because, like, we used to think that being architects, we can visualize in our heads, and non-technical people, they are not able to visualize what is in our minds. But these tools are what are making them a reality, where we can immediately show to the client what is in my mind. So they are also expecting that. So the office has to adapt and has to grow in a way that, we are able to fulfill their
So I have
requirements.
more questions coming for you, definitely.
Sure.
Architect Akhila, you bring global experience to India, and I'm sure whatever globally is happening is also influencing or affecting your Indian office. How do you do that?
So even though our organization is about 100 years old, as you mentioned, we consider ourselves to be a very young organization in spirit. Uh, the kind of work that we do has changed so much over the course of time. Currently, the work that we do spans across the spectrum, right from sitting with the C-suite, trying to understand what is the future of healthcare design and cancer care going to be, working with them with early intent of a project, all the way till facility optimization solutions for things like data or software. So we want to increase our engagement on a project for a longer course of time, not just for the 3 year span when we are engaged on a project. So our own definition of how we work has changed so much over the course of time, and within our organization we have various initiatives such as an idea can actually come from anywhere, right? We are about 1,000 people organization. An idea can come from the junior most person to the most senior person. So if an idea generates, not to put it aside, there is a team that's set up within, it's almost like an in-house incubator which can develop it further and take it and give it legs to run. So we have a practice like that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Mr. Ethan. Sorry, Mr. Hardik. Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing which you rightly mentioned is uh, what we need to do and what we practice at Apai's studio is unlearn and relearn, which is the most essential in this era, because if you don't do that, then you will be practically obsolete.
Absolutely.
And at Apai's, right from the beginning, we have been like we have had the entire 3D modeling and 3D visualization set up right from the beginning of our practice. And I remember those days, like the client used to be astonished. They used to, when we tell them that we have this technology and capability in-house, they were like really astonished, and that's what helped us gain the initial clients at that point in time. And even right now, over the years, like as rightly Tejaswini mentioned, the clients nowadays are much more aware and much more demanding, and we have to keep up to that pace. So be it BIM, be it AI, we have to be capable, and we adapt ourselves to the newer technologies. Like we have been using BIM for for a few years, and now with AI coming into picture, we have started using that as well to optimize the plans, to also generate the renderings and so on and so forth. So there's definitely no option to it.
Yeah. Khushbu, how do you handle this?
So our firm actually was actually founded on the basis that technology needs to change. We need to adapt to newer technologies, not only to create complex objects or complex structures, which we do a lot at our studio, but also to optimize a lot of processes which take a very long time in the architecture fraternity. So that was actually the basis of foundation of our studio called Studio Emergence. We primarily use parametric softwares, but nowadays it is so happened that AI has become a part of the the entire workflow as well. This is mainly to better the experience for the client, and B, to even create a lot of iterations for internal discussions and brainstorming for our internal team, which is great because it saves us a lot of time. In fact, from a week it has come down to half an hour. So the workflow for the initial concept ideas where we just brainstorm for a new project. So that's primarily why. And I think the question why shouldn't happen now. I think the real estate industry, the construction industry always ask questions. Why adapt? Why a new software? Why? I think that's ours is the only industry that does that.
Yeah.
The automobile industry will be already flying, in some other
No,
direction.
we are very good at following, I would say.
So yeah, I mean, we need to adapt as fast as the other industries, and yeah, we'll be there.
So I have lot of other questions also waiting for you people, and we must have already, like everyone agrees that architecture practice for a reason is called architecture practice, because it is continuously evolving, it is going through changes. And no matter how many architects I talk to, one thing that I have realized is every architect is trying to explore, innovate, and bring new processes, new technologies in office, and it becomes a never-ending process. It's always under construction, like Mumbai city. You go anywhere, the road would be always dug, and its city is always evolving. Like it's something new is going to happen. I'm going to ask one very specific question to start with again, Nithin. The challenges with respect to hiring people and talent and skills. How does your firm look at these challenges and how do you handle this? Because this is one complaint which a lot of architects have been talking about.
So what we do, or what I more emphasize on, is what is the exposure to new technology and how much inclination you have to learn. Because if as a person you don't want to explore things, it's really difficult that you would learn. You will just do what you are told to. So this practice requires to go beyond. And also I tell one more thing, it's not probation, but I tell is that, I need to be happy with you and you need to be actually happy working with us.
Yeah.
So it's like a team. So the team needs to be happy working with each other. So we want to create an environment where people are exploring. Like architecture is what? It's creativity and engineering, the science coming together. So every time it should be new. So they need to be exploring. So they need to have the knowledge, like how Mr. Bole, he's been doing tremendous work in with the technology and all that. That very impressive. So that kind of an approach is required when you're talking about future. Like we were talking about integrating future science with creativity. So that's the approach that we normally take.
So anyone who would like to take up this question is about education and the gap that we have been experiencing. And fortunately, we have Professor Rajiv Mishra also sitting over here. He would be talking about few things. One more complaint that is regular over in the profession is the students, fresh graduates, do not come with the required skills which are required for the profession or running a practice. So anyone from four of you can pick up this question, because I don't want to take risk of saying that who should take this.
Okay, I think I'll
Please.
take it if you all permit me. Um, uh, as I can tell you with my 25 years of experience,
Sure.
the same problem was there a quarter century back, and the same problem is today. I hope it gets solved sometime in the near future. Um, what happens is our educational, it's not the problem of the educational system per se, it is the problem of who is setting up the course curriculum. Okay, so education system has to ensure that the curriculum set is changed every year. It cannot be stagnant. Okay, you have one system, one curriculum which will remain forever. And I think so, I don't think so the curriculum has changed in past maybe 20, 25 years or maybe more. Of course, they must have introduced few changes in terms of certain aspects, but there's a lot to catch up on, and it is much more important that to involve professionals who have been in the industry for a very long time, to have discussion with them in setting up the curriculum, so that we can, we and the many other professionals, they can definitely give the feedback as to what we are looking from the students, so that we don't waste time in teaching them. And that is, I think so, primarily one of the reasons why even the starting salaries of architects are low. It is because the firms need to invest a lot of time in bringing them up to the speed into what they are supposed to deliver. So I think it will help the students as well, the young budding architects as well to.
So I'm so glad that you actually raised this point of low salaries also, because not many people publicly talk about it, and this is a very important thing to discuss. I'm coming to AI, unless anyone would like to add to what Mr. Hardik has said. AI would require a complete mindset shift, like what BIM did or what parametric software did. Now, this mindset shift is not just about the new skill coming to your office, it's also about your practice. Your practice also needs to change from traditional mindset to a new mindset. How ready is your practice to adapt to AI technologies, Khushbu?
So our practice is actually primarily based on learning every day and having to adapt to new technology. Even if you talk about Grasshopper, it's not like something anyone can claim that I know Grasshopper. It's ever changing. Every day there's a new plugin that is coming up, or even like just managing the file. It's not like once you have done it, it's like swimming. You will know it. You have to keep practicing and you have to keep doing the work. So people who have the tendency are already in the office, and the team who's already curious about say one software and knows, has that mindset that okay, you have to keep on learning, will be adapting to another technology as well. So that has not been much of a challenge for us, that a team is not adapting. The only challenge has been that, which platform is giving us a better advantage or a better output,
Yeah.
which machine learning is better, etc.
But that's also part of exploration.
It
You
is.
have to
It,
explore
it is.
every tool.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is the actually the challenge that we have faced. But yeah, it's improving now,
Yeah.
quite a bit. So yeah.
Yeah. Akhila?
So one thing that, just tying back to the previous question as well, one thing I feel that there is a lot of exploration that happens on the so-called glamorous capital D design aspect of architecture, which is exploring forms or visualization. But the whole aspect of bringing it to realization and the art of detailing, which is what makes great buildings. In that aspect, I feel that there is a lot of potential of implementing all these tools that are available at our disposal. If every building, does it really require a parapetic detail that needs to be done? So if you have done, if you have a repository of information, how can that be fed into a system
Yeah.
where it can help build your details as well, not just on the initial phase of the design, but even in the later phases of the design. That has immense potential as well.
So there is another question or it's another concern I would say is about the cost that goes into putting up new technologies or implementing new technologies, and there is a huge cost to it. Let us accept it, unless anyone would like to disagree on that. There are so many people, I am sure, agreeing to that. Your firm, which you said is about 25 years old, I am also glad that you yourself agreed that you don't think beyond CAD at this point, but there are many other people who must have already started thinking of other technologies. How do you manage this cost of, adaptation to new technologies, or how do you work on the cost factor? Because practice is a very slow practice and it requires a lot of money to set up.
So that's very true. So of course, like what I said was about myself. My companies definitely
Yeah.
moved on and grabbed what comes into the market because it is a very competitive market. Even practicing as architects and practicing in Mumbai and in fact in Pan India now is extremely, you have to be up to the mark and you have to be able to offer something which is equal or better than most of your peers are doing.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, it has to be done with adaptation of these new things coming in, and they do come with a cost. So the thing is, there has to be a assessment of what are the returns on the investment. So the returns are in the form of the time saved, the labor force that you have to. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm using the word labor, but the
It's
man
okay.
hours which are which are to be invested in, be able to deliver what is expected of you and client satisfaction. If what your outputs are satisfying the clients, they will come back to you, and whatever investments you have made are definitely then going to be used. It's like the repeated use of a certain thing. If it is giving you the returns, I'm sure the cost balancing is how we look at it. So that's why, jumping into everything that is new coming in is not the approach. The approach is, of course, to try to understand what is it in it that is new, which is
Yeah.
being offered, and how it is going to be better than what we have already been following in our workflow. And if it, and of course, it also has to be compatible to the workflow which is there, where we can easily plug in and then move on to deliver something better, quicker, and efficiently. So I mean that's exactly, now time is the money. So that's how we try to
Anyone would
balance
like
out.
to add to this? Yeah.
As I had mentioned in my earlier in the beginning as well, that at Apaisa Studio we've always been in forefront of adapting technology, and right from the beginning we had the visualization team in our organization. So that adapting to the new technology helps you in get new and more clients, because nowadays clients are also very well versed and very well informed, and they definitely want to work with the consultants and with the architects who have the latest technology, because they also don't want to be left behind. So we as in practice, we have to think from that angle as well. There is not just the cost per se of the setting up the system and just calculating the ROI of that. It is how you can capitalize it and how you can use it for getting more clients. That is how, if you look at it, then the cost is quite minuscule.
Anyone would like to add to this?
Yeah, and it's also about collaboration, right? For example, I don't have to know everything. I can hire a BIM consultant for something which I don't know. I can hire a parametric consultant for something I don't know or my
You mean
office doesn't know.
outsourcing?
Outsourcing, yeah. Like a collaboration of, project, experts of every field for a project which is going to be the best version of itself. So I think clients also now are warming up to the idea that it's not just one architect, there's going to be more than one specialist that is going to come in, similar to like a facade consultant. But I think collaboration is something where the R&D costs or the software costs will come down, because you are just going to take the experience of someone who's already doing it for multiple projects.
But I'm quite surprised you are saying this. After saying this, yours is the firm which keeps on learning new technologies and learning.
So I am the one. So I am the one who is. So we are the ones who's offering the parametric consultancy. So we work with actually multiple people. Even actually HSA we have worked with, and Mr. Bole also. So yeah, we
so
have.
I have very good observation what Mr. Bhole presented today. I'll come to that a little later. I think Akhila, you want to add to this?
Not really pertaining to this topic, but to a parallel topic, that technology ultimately brings and makes the world come closer, right? So I am currently working on a project which is in West Virginia for the past 2-3 months, and we've been able to collaborate across time zone differences. And just to add to what Khushbu is saying, if a person is best at doing this particular project, irrespective of the geographical location, they are at your disposal to be included in the project team. So there is so many avenues that open the moment you enable yourself with technology.
So we are talking about money over here, and what I found interesting today, architect Bhole, when he started presentation, I think on the top he mentioned architecture is a business.